What things really make you cringe? Recordings of my own voice. Videos of people getting caught in lies. When I remember my high school interactions in general, go read your old Facebook posts. Freak. Extreme self-delusion. Usually, it's funny enough to make up for it, but sometimes it's just so sad to see somebody who can accept reality. Self-diagnosed psychopaths. The time I was talking too loud at a wedding when I wasn't supposed to, and everyone at the wedding turned around to see what jerk wouldn't shut up. When I remember that I did the "I do have a boyfriend, he just goes to another school" thing. Second-hand embarrassment. It makes me physically ill. Someone obviously showing off at doing something when they're not that good at it really gets to me. The worst is when someone is singing along to a song, but instead of just vibing and singing for their own pleasure, they're looking around to make sure that other people are watching them sing. It's the worst. Seeing an adult complain like a child to waiters, cashiers, etc. When people make a joke but nobody laughs and it's just quiet. Those videos of guys trying really hard to be sexy, biting their lips and looking down and brushing their hair back. They make me cringe so hard. When people get that mentality of "I am one bad bench" because they are really just one annoying bench. People who post vague status updates on social media, such as "the most horrible thing just happened to me," without providing any context. It's a cheap way for people to fish for attention, and it creates unnecessary worry for the people who care about them. A suburban white kid acting like a gangster because he listens to rap. Early teen me. So many cringy stuff I did. I hope all of my old friends have forgotten about me. When the super rich tries to relate to ordinary people, it just comes across as so fake. Any story about someone having a birthday party and no one shows up. It happened to my little brother when we were kids, and I've been scarred from it since. People dying, abused, grief, loss or horror does not elicit the same emotional upset I get when I hear those kinds of birthday stories. Public proposals. Guys being overly aggressive at women who were plainly uninterested. Every time I am in a group of people, I always say the wrong thing and they look at me like I have 3 heads and a penis growing out of my forehead. When people post selfies of them crying. No joke, my friend's sister posted crying selfies of her and her kids when they had their dog put to sleep. With the dead dog. People who talk about "oh, I'm so ugly" when they're literally the most attractive person in the room, clearly just so people would compliment them. This doesn't go for looks only but for skills too. My face when I see it on video. I consider myself a good-looking gal, but when I see my face on videos I look absolutely different from what I look in mirrors and pictures, whether selfies or that others take. Looking like a dang squirrel fish. Office culture. Let's circle back. Bubble up any concerns you might have. Forced camaraderie and laughter at Steve, who's a dang dweeb, and his unfunny joke that's been honed over many a cup of crappy coffee in the break room because it's just another Monday. When people film themselves doing something really generous and heartfelt for someone in dire need, for example a homeless person. A guy sending meme after meme to a chat group, and no one responding. Like ever. Waving back at someone who wasn't waving at you. Having to stick your hand into the nasty food water that has been sitting in the sink for several days to open the drain, and when you remove your hand the pieces of fish and lettuce and dark matter that are stuck to it. Folks who read motivational literature and then brag about what outstanding knowledge it contains. Clickbait YouTube thumbnails. My brother-in-law. The way he tries to flirt with anything with a pair of boobs and is 2 decades younger than he is, mostly female servers at restaurants. He treats male servers like crap. He tries to touch their hair or their shoulders without permission and makes the lamest jokes that no one ever laughs at except for him. The man hasn't shaved in years and from the smell of it probably doesn't bathe as often as he should either. He smells like a dog and burritos. I married his twin brother. I feel like I married the name brand version and his brother is the dollar store version. My dad had to get a shot in his eyeball the other day. He was telling me about it over the phone. I'm cringing now just rethinking about it. People shooting down ideas when they've asked for help. It angers me, but it also just really makes me uncomfortable. The hate bandwagon. It's painful seeing people hate on fandom because they saw the small percentage of the bad part. They think they know everything because they watched a filthy Frank video. Kids claiming to be born in the wrong generation. TikTok and Fortnite dances. Shared couple Facebook accounts. Specifically where they use an as the middle name. In a drama performance, I had to blow a kiss into the crowd and accidentally did it to a teacher by accident, and following up I did the call me hand gestures. Watching a sex scene of a movie with your parents. People who are unnecessarily aggressive because they're insecure. Touching something that shouldn't be where I have my hand. Doesn't matter what it is, and or how it feels. It especially happens if I'm doing the dishes and I touch a large chunk of tomato sauce that wasn't thrown into the food bin. Watching old recordings of me performing. People lying about having a mental illness. When people sing you a happy birthday song. 300 pounds people dressed in military uniforms pretending to be Ghost Recon Army SEALs. People who say I'm a nice person but if you pee me off I'll be your worst nightmare. Ugh. When people break bones in videos, and they just stare at it in shock. r/teenagers. I'm a teenager, by the way. The sound of metal scraping against metal, tinfoil and teeth. My own voice, face, appearance, and my old YouTube channel that should have been annihilated to oblivion like years ago. People who aren't funny and don't realize it. When guys hit on women in public, that clearly don't want to be bothered. Celebrities singing Imagine while everybody else has real problems. When a decent-looking girl posts a pic on Instagram, read the comments, I can't look away, but it is a cringe factor of 10 every time.